Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Samantha and today I'm sharing with you my eyeshadow palette collection. Also filming this a little bit differently and just showing you the actual palettes. So you'll have to let me know how you enjoy this. The very first palette is from BH Cosmetics. It's a Glam Reflection Gilded palette, and if you like me have been enjoying those warm, rich, grungy yellow eyeshadows, you're going to love this palette. It's a little bit beat up. This is how I received it, not the eyeshadows used, but the palette for some reason was a little bit damaged and the plastic sheet actually stuck to the palette. But nonetheless, the eyeshadows are perfect and I have absolutely loved this. This one actually I purchased at the height of summer and it just was amazing. The next four are from the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill collaboration. The first one is Ring the Alarm. This one I believe sold out on the UK site first, and I'm not surprised. It's warm, it's gorgeous, it's everything that we love within an eyeshadow palette. And within these palettes I noticed that you only get one, possibly two matte transitional shades, and then you get some deeper shades for the crease. But the shimmers in here, there are some real surprises. You get some duochromes and they are so intense, absolutely beautiful. So that's the first one. The next one is Armed and Gorgeous. This one you get your warm eyeshadows with a little bit of a green shade, a pop of green. I think green has been a real surprise in eyeshadow palettes this year, but it has to be a certain green, doesn't it? You know, it's not the grass green, it's more like a grungy green, I suppose. So love that one. Then this one is Dark Magic, which I haven't even used yet. I've not even used this one. There's been so many eyeshadow releases that I'm sure that I shared with you the three, so the first three, and then it came to this one and then something else released, and you know, I was then on to something else, but I must share this one with you soon because it's just outstanding. And then the last one, this was a real surprise to me. This was the Bling Boss even eyeshadow palette, and this one I thought was not going to be a favourite of mine at all, but it's one of my favourites. I love it so much. Gave me a beautiful look and yeah, really loved it. Then we move on to some Revolution Pro Regeneration eyeshadows. This one is Restoration. I repurchased this. I don't know what I've done with my original palette, but I saw this in Superdrug a week ago. It was the very last one and I thought I've got to have it. Not only that, there was a 3 for 2 offer in Superdrug and I thought, wow, even better deal. These are only £8, but they are outstanding. So I've got that one. Then I've got this one, Mirage, and this one is warm, but also it's got a few surprising shades in here. Just stunning. I've been obsessed with these this year. I won't go on too much about my favourites because that will obviously come in the one video at the end of the year. This one is Revelation. This one is the Huda Beauty palette dupe. Again, beautiful shades. Whoever thought of these and put these together, well, I think they need an award. They are amazing, but the quality is just outstanding. The next one is Goldmine, and obviously the shades reflect the name. Just a gorgeous golden toned eyeshadow, but not golden as in, you know, literally gold. It's a subtle gold and I really like that. It's just a beautiful eyeshadow palette. And then I think my favourite, you'll see why, not see why it's my favourite, but you'll see that it is my favourite because it's the most beat up and it's unleashed. You can see the two shades that I really love is that one there, and then, whoops, this is difficult, that one there. I love it. I always get compliments on my eyes. I look when I wear this and I just love it. I'm obsessed with it actually. So that's Unleashed. The next couple of eyeshadows come from I Heart Revolution, and we've got the Peanut Buttercup eyeshadow palette from that Chocolate Heart collection. So it looks like that, and then it looks like this on the inside. Absolutely stunning, really beautiful eyeshadows. Of course, coming from I Heart Revolution, they're always going to be good quality because, you know, they make beautiful eyeshadows, but I also love the colour selection in this one as well. Then we have got the Red Velvet, and I know that a lot of people are waiting for these to be released separately, and I'm not surprised because they are just stunning. And I'm sure this one is a dupe for the Jeffree Star Blood Sugar palette. I'm not quite sure myself because I don't have that one from Jeffree, but I think the colours are fairly similar, aren't they? And again, beautiful colourways, beautiful look that I created with this. And I'm now getting wafts of chocolate because these also smell amazing. The last one is Cranberries and Chocolate, and it looks like this. Now, I mentioned in my video that I shared this whole palette with you and a try on, that I'd seen a few comments on the iHeart Revolution, I think Instagram or website, saying that this was a little bit boring. And I must admit, when you look at it, you think, you know, but actually when I tried it, well, I think I had one of the best makeup days or best eyeshadow days that I'd had all year, and it was outstanding. I would recommend this palette to anybody. If you love these type of shades, then pick this up because it is just beautiful, and the smell coming from it is just, well, stunning. The next two are from Violet Voss. The first one is the Pro Eyeshadow Holy Grail. I just love this. This has been in my favourite videos so many times. I just love the shade So Jelly, which is here. Oh, it's just an amazing shade. Again, you can look at this palette and overlook it thinking it's a little bit dull, but actually that So Jelly is a duochrome. Again, every time I wear it I get compliments. It's a beautiful palette, and you've got some neutrals in there, some cranberries, oranges, and some outstanding shimmers as well. So yeah, really love that. I don't want to drop any of these. Next, again, we have a Violet Voss Pro Eyeshadow Palette. This time it's hashtag, and wow, again, there is a shade in here that is outstanding, and this one is, let me point to it, No Filter. Again, that one, when you wear it, it's one of those grungy yellow shades that is just, it just makes any eyeshadow look pop. I would again recommend this palette to anybody. It's outstanding. The quality, the eyeshadows, you've got everything in there. I don't think I've touched some of these eyeshadows because every time I go for this palette it's all because I want to wear No Filter. Love it so much. The next one is a collection from Sleek Makeup, star of the show. I've recently shared this collection with you. You can pick the eyeshadow palette up full sized from Boots, and the other two items you can pick up from the Sleek UK website. I didn't like the mascara. I poked myself in the eye with it and it was very sharp at the end of it, so not a good mascara. And I also didn't like the way that it just made my lashes, it showed my lashes off, but it didn't increase the length or build them up in any way, so I wasn't impressed with that. The lipstick I loved, and I also loved the eyeshadow palette, and for a mini it gave me a very good look. And even though it's a mini, I didn't hit pan. You know, it's not like, you know, so small that you're going to hit pan on first using it. It was just a beautiful eyeshadow palette and lip collection. The next two are from the brand Focallure. Very unfortunate name for a brand, but they recently sent me a trio of products to test out, which I must admit I've been loving. So this is the 12 colour portable eyeshadow palette Sunset. Yeah, this was my favourite actually out of the two. I thought Burning, which I'll show you in a moment, would be my favourite, but actually really enjoyed this. This shade here and this one here, they are textured eyeshadows. They seem to have a little bit more glitter in them, but absolutely stunning, and I really love the eye look that I created using that palette. Like I say, this one is Burning and it looks like that, and I'll just show you the inside. Like I say, I thought this was going to be my favourite palette out of the two, and I must admit that the brush in these two palettes is also pretty good, even though it's a mini. You know, you get some fluffiness on the left hand side, and the right hand side is quite flat, but really good. You know, if you're stuck for a brush, but yeah, I thought this was going to be my favourite, but actually it turned out to be the Sunset palette, which was a real surprise to me, even though these still have got some beautiful shades in here. So stunning. Now this was a real surprise. This palette I'll pop down because it's so big. This is the Origin palette from Beautybay. Now of course Beautybay released a whole collection and they've only recently released more. They've released 2 collaborations, one that I'm going to be sharing with you very soon, another collaboration I think a week or 2 ago, some more releases from some smaller palettes because these are the larger versions. But yeah, I was really impressed with this. Now when I created my eyeshadow look, it lasted and lasted. These are really good quality. I really also like the idea that they have taken the thought out of it. In fact, you've got base there, transition, crease, liner, pop and highlight. So all the thought has been taken out of it. So it's a very easy palette to use if you're a beginner, or if you're like me, you just like things easy. You're always in a rush and you know you want to know that certain eyeshadows are going to be, work well together. Then grab one of these and trial these. You will not be disappointed. So impressed. Next we have some more Morphe eyeshadow palettes. Now this one I had to get hold of. It's the 35M and wow, it is a stunner. It is gorgeous. Now the reason I purchased this is for those green shades, but the other shadows are just as beautiful. The only thing that I wished that Morphe had done was and I'm not, they probably have, but they in their advertising they had a beautiful girl wearing a beautiful green-eyed look, and I would love to see that recreated so I could recreate that myself. But yeah, other than that, which is not really much of a disappointment, but I just love these eyeshadows. I mean, I love Morphe as well as Revolution because they're always bringing out brand new products and it's always exciting. Next we have the 15T, which I have just recently finished sharing with you, and again I went for this palette because of the greens and the neutrals in here because I loved the 35M so much, so I went with this because of that factor and I wasn't disappointed. I love it. And the next one, you'll see a shadow on the left hand side, and that is the palettes getting higher and higher, so let's hope that they don't fall. The next one is the 15S, and if I can take the plastic off, this one was totally different for me and I was really, well, I'm not really worried, but I'm not much of a bright eyeshadow person. I'm more for neutrals. So I went all out with this one and used those bright pinks and that bright violet in my eyeshadow look, and I absolutely loved it. I loved the look that I created, and you know, Morphe didn't let me down. The quality was amazing as well. So love that. Now of course I'll put all of the links for you down below so that you can, and I'm just bringing over some more palettes so that you can check out these palettes for yourself. The next one is a Lottie London and Chewy. Oh, I always Thule. I hope I'm getting her name correct. I really like to get people's names correct, and whenever I look at the palette I always think, you know, I'm second guessing myself. But anyway, it's Living My Best Life from Lottie London, and this was a real surprise for me. Now in this palette you have a row of mattes at the bottom and then a row of shimmers. Now she did such a good job choosing these shadows and putting them together because the mattes especially are just beautiful. It's only £8.99 I believe, and very inexpensive, but the quality is outstanding. And I think we always judge an eyeshadow palette, don't we, by the mattes, and you won't be disappointed with this. Of course the shimmers are outstanding as well, but the mattes are, I was so surprised, and they're just amazing. Beautiful eyeshadows, beautiful, absolutely stunning look I created with that one. Now this is another Beautybay palette. This is the Jordan Lipscomb collaboration, and I went for, what's this one called? Can't see the name of it now. but it's the smoky eyeshadow, Onyx, that's it, Onyx, there we go. It's the smoky eyed eyeshadow look. I picked this one up because I really loved the yellow shades. It gave me a beautiful smoky look, very intense colours as well. You know, the quality is very intense. You don't need many or much product to really give you that smoky eyed look. Again, I could do without the highlights. I'm not much of a big highlight fan. I've got my favourites, and whenever you put highlights in a palette, I don't know, it cheapens the palette slightly. I want more eyeshadows. If I'm picking up an eyeshadow palette, I want it to have eyeshadows and jam-packed with eyeshadows rather than a highlight. I do feel that with a highlight, you're I don't know, it's just, you know, you're shoving it in there to fill up the space basically, but what I want is the eyeshadow rather than a highlight. But really love that yellow in there. Now we move on to Obsession, and wow, did they release some beautiful eyeshadows. This one is All We Have Is Now, and it is just stunning. I don't know if you can remember the eyeshadow look that I created using that Zen shade, that blue, that icy blue, just amazing. I applied some neutral shades with that pop of blue on the lid, and it was just beautiful, absolutely stunning look. Then I went with the, oh my goodness, this one. Now if you haven't picked this one up, why not? It's the Belle Jordan and Obsession collaboration, and the artwork on here was done by a tattooist friend of Belle's, but oh, it's just amazing, absolutely beautiful design, but the inside is just as stunning. I mean, beautiful eyeshadows. I think Belle did an amazing job with this. There's been so many collaborations from Obsession, Revolution Pro and Revolution this year, and I think they have all been amazing. So well done to Belle. This is just outstanding. I love it. Not only you can take the eyeshadows out as well and you know, replace them. So good. Or you know, if you have two palettes and you have some favorite shades out of there, you can mix them together. This one is the Be the Game Changer, and it looks like that. So you've got some warm browns, cooler browns, and it's a real neutral palette with those pops of orangey reds. Absolutely love it. Now this one, if you have been watching my channel, you will know that I love this, and this one is the Be in Love With palette. This one, if I wear this, and well, 10 times out of 10, I was going to say 9 times out of 10, but every single time I wear this, I go for that shade Bond, bottom middle of the bottom row, bottom middle, yeah. It is just outstanding. Again, it looks like a neutral palette, but that Bond shade is like a peachy pink, and I think it's not until you know, swatch these palettes and trial them that you really get the true look of the palette, obviously. Because when you look at them with your, you know, before you've swatched them, you're not going to get that true beauty. And some of these shades, especially that this brand or Revolution as a whole, really, they always put some surprising shades in these palettes, and Bond is such a surprise from this palette. Absolutely love it, and I'm obsessed with it. I won't say too much again about that because, well, my favourites for the year and the month will be obviously filmed very soon. These are from Revolution Pro. They're their Supreme eyeshadows. The first one is in Captivate, and it looks like that. These are outstanding. They're like a cream to powder formulation. Just gorgeous. I love Revolution Pro, as you can tell by what I've already said about their Regeneration palettes, but again, these are closely behind them. If you want an intense look, you might want to pick these up, and they're only £6. That one is my least favourite, so Captivate is my least favourite. I am obsessed with this one. It's called Allure, and you can see why. It's that purple shade that you can see I've used a lot of. It is again a duochrome, outstanding, cream to powder with these shimmer shades, but the mattes are also beautiful as well. Just outstanding, and I'm going to say that a lot really in this video. Again, this one is Intoxicate. It's again one of those palettes that I've repurchased. I repurchased it with the other Revolution Pro palette because I don't know where it went to, and I saw it in Superdrug and I thought I've got to try that again. The colours in here are just beautiful. So if I can remember that I loved it, so I'm not quite sure where that palette went. The next is a Revolution Pro collaboration. It's the Revolution Pro and Natalia collaboration NAF, and it's a limited edition. I did ask Adam Minto how long this one would be available, and he said that it would definitely be available until next year, obviously until the stock runs out. So if you would like this, you really need to get your hands on it. This one is beautiful. Again, it's one of those palettes that really does throw up some surprises, especially that striking purple shade, which is called striking, in the middle there. Absolutely stunning. Beautiful, and I love how it opens. The only thing I found with that, a little bit tricky when you're holding it, you have to hold it open to apply it because it keeps shutting, but really love the design of that, and Revolution is always coming up with new and different things. This one was from last year's Christmas collection. It's the VIP palette. Again, I've spoken endlessly about this because not only do I like the outer packaging, but you can see how much I've used this. I was obsessed with that shade at the top left. I used it every single day to set my eyeshadow, but I just love it. Again, it's one of those eyeshadow palettes that we all need. You've got neutrals in there, you've got everything, and I used it constantly. I just love it so much. And of course you can still get your hands on it. This one is from their new Christmas collection, the Jewel collection, and this one is Gilded. So you can actually see the difference. Let me just get the other one back. So this is the difference. So last year's was glitter. This one looks slightly different, but still as beautiful. Slightly smaller as well from last year's. So let's have a look at this one. Now this I could probably talk endlessly about. The bottom two rows, standard Revolution eyeshadows. You've got the shimmers, you've got the mattes, still beautiful, and you know that's why I love the brand. Gorgeous eyeshadows. But that top row with the larger pans, if you haven't tried this, you need to try it. They are like a cream to powder finish. I'm so pleased they gave us the larger pans with those outstanding shadows. They are just something else. Revolution has evolved into a cream to powder eyeshadow, well, heaven, and that's what they are. Just stunning. Again, every time I wear those shadows I always get compliments, and I know, well, you can tell why. They're beautiful, absolutely stunning. This next one is a palette that again I have talked about endlessly. It is from, again, Revolution, and it is their Reloaded Basic Mattes eyeshadow palette. There is nothing basic about this palette apart from the fact that it is a basic in my collection. Basic Mattes, I don't really like the name because it makes it sound like it's not that good, but it is, I suppose, a palette that you need in your collection, especially if you've got palettes that just have shimmers. This has some outstanding mattes. In fact, if you have this palette, you will never need another matte palette because it is just beautiful, absolutely stunning. Yeah, I just love it so much, and I know that when you look at it you think, you know, it's dull, it's just a matte palette. It's only £4, and I think anybody can afford it, but the quality is outstanding. Again, another outstanding palette. This next one is the Emily Noel collaboration palette, so the Wants, and this one really did throw up something totally different for me. It really got me into green eyeshadow. It's outstanding. Again, that word outstanding, because the shade Corduroy, I created a look with this and I thought, wow, why haven't I used greens before? But I think it's because I only like a certain green on me. But more recently I've created another look with that top shade Grateful, and I'm just obsessed. absolutely beautiful, and well done, Emily, for choosing some amazing shades. Next we have another collaboration from Revolution. It's the Imagination eyeshadow palette. This again, stunning. I love how this is designed. I love the shades in here. I love the bright side with the shade You Know, and then I love the more subtle shade with the mauvey colours. I love that butterfly shade, Forever Friend shade. I just love it. And I also love the fact that the middle shades, the transitional shades, are larger. I just love that palette. Again, Imogen did so well. Now we've got another palette here, which is a collaboration, and it's from Kizu. Again, obsessed. I am obsessed with the shade Cat Lady. I love that in the transitional area. I love those grungy yellows, those grungy golds. I just love it. The only criticism with this palette is that I think I love the eyeshadow so much that Kizu, I think, could have got rid of the highlight shades and put more eyeshadows in, another 8 eyeshadows. I would have loved to have seen other shades that she, you know, popped in here, because they're just outstanding. Now I've got another couple of palettes that I want to share with you that I've left in my drawer, so I'll just get them. And they are these. And now I was just talking about a matte palette, and Profusion actually sent me a few palettes. I also purchased a few. This is one that I purchased from Profusion, and it is another matte palette. Now it had to be good to beat Revolution. It didn't quite beat Revolution, but it was still a beautiful eyeshadow palette. The shades in here are just stunning. You know, you've got a lot of mattes in here for every eye look. I think it's £5.99 if I remember correctly, but yeah, really love it, and I was very pleased that they sent me over a few palettes to try, because I've never heard of this brand before. The next palette, or the very last palette, is the Sienna's eyeshadow palette. So again, from Profusion Cosmetics, just outstanding. I love the quality with these eyeshadows. I love the shades. I can see why this one is their bestseller. You've got everything in here, haven't you? And not only that, this is one of the only eyeshadow palettes that I've ever tried that the actual eyeshadow brush is top quality. It is amazing. It is so good. I've got one in my eyeshadow collection, or eyeshadow brush collection, and one that I keep in the palette to share with you, but it is just amazing. The shades are gorgeous. I think this retails for about $11.99, $12.99, but you're getting a lot of shadows for your money. So that is the very last palette that I wanted to, let me just pop that down safely. That is every palette that I wanted to share with you. Yes, there are a lot, but not as many as perhaps you may have thought. I would love to know your favourites. Which ones do you have? Which ones may you get in the future? I would love to know all of that, as always. But as always, if you have just stumbled over my channel, I would love it if you subscribed to watch further videos. Thank You Thursday will be coming tomorrow, Friday, so obviously do keep tuned for that, and obviously subscribe so you don't miss that. And if you would like to be mentioned in a Thank You Thursday, all you have to do is subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on Instagram, keep those comments coming, and I'll pick one for tomorrow. So obviously keep those comments coming today, because you may still be in with a chance of being mentioned tomorrow or next week or the week after, and so forth. But as always, until tomorrow, thank you so much for watching. Thank you. Bye.